Hey, folks. This is gonna feel a little like deja vu for me because I have already recorded this video. In fact, I have already tried to edit this video, but something happened with my audio levels that made it like just impossible to listen to. So, we're gonna do this again. Um, so last time I recorded a video, I talked about I had this desire to be able to harvest my field with a click of a button. And I thought that was going to be like a long term project, but apparently I got it stuck in my head and I obsessed about it. And um, yeah, I built that last night. You can see this area looks considerably different. As a result, I had to pare things down. I have 6 banks of 4 rows of crops. And behind the scenes, there are 4 pistons at a time, and they're all going to fire off at once when I click this button, or actually press that lever. And what's going to happen is upon activating the lever, it's going to push all of the blocks to one side, and underneath here, there's an empty space. So it's going to basically push the blocks into that empty space. And then when I let go of I flip the lever again, it's going to push everything back into its original position. So how this is designed, and we'll show off some of the redstone here in a few, but basically each bank pushes the 4 pistons. They all fire at the same time. Then I've got an observer that is watching the piston, and when it sees the piston fire, it sends a signal over here saying, oh, hey, you should do something. Now, observers fire a signal every time a block changes. So, in theory, when the piston fires initially, it's going to send a signal, and when it retracts, it's going to send a signal. Now, the first time it sends a signal, these pistons can't do anything because these pistons are already pushing out. However, when it retracts, these pistons can now act and push things back in. So, just for the sake of show and tell, we're going to flip the switch. And everything just got harvested. So I can run along and pick stuff up. And this is a hell of a lot faster than having to knock everything loose and then harvest it. So I'm going to try and catch everything. The only negative with this design is it is possible for stuff to end up getting pushed into the chamber below. So sometimes stuff ends up there. Very rarely stuff gets pushed into these in between the rows. There are waters, and in theory, it can sometimes get pushed into there. So yeah. Okay. So I think I've gotten everything. And now I'm going to sit over here and flip the switch. And it all goes back to normal. So there's a bunch of things that I learned along the way. And because I am building with limited resources, I'm not going to fix them. I ended up using sticky pistons because I misunderstood how sticky pistons work. I thought this single piston would push the entire stack, and then when it retracted, it would pull back the entire stack so that I only had to have one set of pistons. That is not the case. I have to have another action to push them back into place because the only thing that actually sticks to the piston is the block right beside it. However, I didn't want that to happen because that would essentially have pulled a earth block away, and now there would be a permanent gap here. Um, so because I had nothing but sticky pistons, I ended up making a bunch of glazed terracotta, and red was just the cheapest color that I could make. And glazed terracotta has the unique property that nothing or sticky pistons don't stick to it. So I could put this on the last one, and at some point I want to replace these pistons with normal pistons so that I can have back this spot for growing things. But like I figured for now, it was fine as far as the sacrifice went. So you can see like that really quickly, and now I've got that all harvested. I'll replant it another time when I'm not recording. But because I ran into issues debugging, I made a private little area that you can get down into the machine and see. So I've got 2 observers. Mostly I've got 2 because this delays it enough to where the motion works fluidly without hitching. And then each bank of redstone has the same basic layout. You've got a repeater just coming in, then you've got a repeater here so that you've got enough power to do the whole circuit. And then this is aligned in a certain way as to touch and fire all of the pistons. And then this is duplicated 6 more times. Yeah, see, look, there's some wheat that fell down here. And this also allows me to come down here and get stuff out of here. And then this all fires off of a single switch that's up here. Thing I would have probably changed, and I'll probably change at some point, is to switch it over to using a button and trying that. I think that would work more cleanly. And this is the back half. So it gets its signal from over here. And again, there's a repeater there, and then there's the observer. And then in this case, the pistons fire off in this order to close the gap. And it works pretty well. Like it works surprisingly well. I am impressed. Like it took most of my iron, so I'm kind of now on the hunt for iron. But yeah, like it works really smoothly. So like I just come over here and flip the switch and it fires, and I flip the switch and it resets back. And I mean, obviously it takes some time for the blocks to update themselves. The other thing that's happened is I have terraformed the mountain. Because I'm obsessed with building things. So now you can come up here. This got expanded significantly. And this now connects up over here. And then this connects up there. So like there's multiple paths around my base. So now there's a path around here. And then I can go up here. And then there's another path around this side. And I can go up another level. And there's a path around. And I can go up another level. And I don't know, like there really wasn't a rhyme or reason how I did these. I should have probably paid more attention to how I was doing the stairs so that it would be more clear on how to climb up. Then finally you can come up to the top here, and you're now at the top of my base. And you can either drop back down into the planting area, or if you could catch it just right, drop down here. So yeah, I've expanded a lot. Now I think it's probably time to start adventuring again. Now that I feel like I've built what I needed to build. So the other thing that I wanted to show off is earlier in the video series, like basically the video that I recorded right after I took my first death, I had found a spider spawner in this little quadrant. In fact, if you come down here, this cave system that you saw earlier was what ultimately originally led to that. And it's been blocked off for reasons that I'll show you shortly. Go ahead and light that up. So where's my up? There's my up. I ended up building a spider farm. And there's a number of videos out there showing this design. It basically is a chamber that the spiders spawn in. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm having trouble hitting them. There we go. They were just too bunched up. But yeah, so they'll basically come down here and you can farm XP, you can farm materials. Just trying to farm them down a little bit. And now I'm having trouble keeping up with the spawn rate. If you get too close, they could still hit you. But they end up getting blocked to where they can't get to you. But everything that drops goes into a hopper system into this chest so that you can get whatever loot you end up getting. The primary difference being, like, mostly this is for XP gain, because, like, I don't know if I would ever need this much string. Okay, now I can come up to the... Sometimes stuff gets stuck on the grates, and you kind of have to farm it down a little bit before you can get to it. So that's my spider spawner. And now this led me to an interesting thought project. Like, I know there's dungeons all over the place. And when I found my slime chunks, let's go downstairs and see if, for once in a video, the slime will actually make an appearance. Oh crap, I could use some food. Let's see. Grab some steak. Wow, I am low on resources. Let's eat up real quick. So one of the projects that I want to do once I get some more iron is I want to do a hopper system underneath this oven. I've encased it this way, and stuff no longer pops off whenever it's cooked, and in theory should fall through, since the campfire is like a fall through block. So at some point I'm going to put hoppers underneath, and then a chest over here that I can withdraw from. That way I can come in, put stuff on there, and it just auto collects. Okay, eat a little. Okay, now down into the dungeon. We'll see if slime will actually make an appearance. Do I got enough inventory space? Yeah. Usually, you hear... It makes me wonder if... because of how close we are to the spiders, if the spiders are consuming all of the spawnables, because in theory, by now, there should be more slime, because I've killed them a couple times today, but I don't know what the rate of respawn is. I may need to go ahead and finish cleaning out that chunk, because I know there's a ravine down there, and there may be enough spawns in the ravine that is blocking slime from spawning. So that is a thing that is a possibility. Anyway, so when I went to go find the slime chunk, I discovered a website, and I'm going to see if I can flip over to it really quick. Okay, so this is called Chunk Base. And what you do is you put in your seed, and it will show you where it thinks the rough approximation of where things are. So I had put a location in, and it plotted my point. So this, for example, is the 2 slime chunks that I found, that we were just in. This is the spider dungeon that I made my spawner out of. I was curious about this one because it was also really close. So you can see that it has a coordinate system of -89, 21, and 289. So one of the things that's confusing, and let me flip back over to the game. One of the things that's confusing is Minecraft doesn't use XYZ like it should. Z is usually your elevation, it's your height. That's not what it uses it for. Y is what it uses for height. So right now, the base level of my area is 63. So what I did was initially zero in on that this is 289. Okay, so as a z-axis, which really should be a different axis, this is 289. Okay, so now in theory I have to go down to 21, and I have to go to -89. So I dug this out trying to find this spawner. So I'm watching the numbers real quick. Okay, so technically this block is 289, 89, or -89. So in theory, if you go down to 21, the spawner is right there. However, I don't like digging straight down. That seems like a bad idea. So I ended up digging down further past where I actually needed, and then looped around and came back to find the spawner. And here it is. This is the spider spawner that was indicated on the map. So let me flip back over to the map, and you'll see this is where I'm at right now, is in this spider spot. This has weird ramifications. Like, so you could just scroll out forever and see every object that it thinks is on your map. Now some of it hasn't been 100% true, because like I'm pretty sure that's not actually the location of the village. I think it ended up spawning slightly differently. But I do kind of want to chase down some of these things. And this would be another video, but like there's a whole cave system down here off the spawner that I am interested in exploring. I don't need this spawner because I've already got a spider spawner, so I will probably destroy this spawner. However, there's a skeleton and a zombie that are supposedly nearby that I kind of want to go track down and figure out how to build a skeleton or a zombie farm. So it should be interesting. Spiders are kind of a utilitarian thing. Like, I would have rather it been a zombie farm, but like, because there's a spider farm, I will never run out of string. I got bows for days. Anyway, yeah. So right now, I've built several things that I wanted to do, like this auto harvester. Like, it's not auto harvester. Like, I could make it to where literally, if I push a button, everything collects into a chest, and that may happen at some point. I just don't have the materials to do it. I've got my 2 cow farms, and they're now working to their fullest. And I've got, I think I cleaned these out recently. But it allows me to have, a nice supply of steak if I want it. I've also got, wheat and potatoes and everything, just to extremes. I ended up going to town and placed the equipment needed to turn somebody into toolsmith, so I think I'm going to train that person up. I need to figure out what it requires for a weaponsmith and to plant one of those. But otherwise, like, I'm really happy with my base. I do think, however, that somewhere in my base there is a spot that's just a little too dark, because every so often I just have a random zombie wandering around. And I spent some time trying to figure out where that might be, but really, like, I don't know. I'm clueless as to how it might be making its way in. Like, I did think for a while it was maybe dropping around the edge, but I've corrected some of that. So maybe that's what was happening. But anyway, I've decided that I'm gonna call my base Gas Time, because reasons. Like, I'm Belgast, and Gas Time sounds like a good name. So, maybe I don't have any more torches. Let's move this one to over here, just in case. Yeah, I think that does a better job of lighting things up. Anyway, like, that's it. I've still got some projects that I want to do. They're going to require me going out into the world and finding stuff. So I kind of expect that that's going to be a thing that I do in the coming videos. But I wanted to record this since I'm pretty proud of my auto harvester. And I didn't expect it to be done by now. But yeah, like, it was a build, like, and I obsessed over it. So I'm pretty happy. Like, this is the best thing I've built with redstone so far. Anyway, hopefully you have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.